Before we start today's video, I wanted to give you a little Christmas tree tour. It's so cute, you guys. It makes me so happy. Except for this. This is kind of like screwed up and a waste of money. I like literally just moved in, it like broke, so we're just gonna back away from that. But we stayed up so late, just like on the first night here, like making these. We went to Michael's and we picked out all different kinds of like paper, and then we just decided to do all kinds of crap with it. We have baby mini lights, we have little star lights, and then every little thing that we have here is like a little bit nostalgic. My dad taught me how to make paper airplanes. Who would have thought that paper airplanes on a Christmas tree would be cool? Or like, who would have thought that butterflies would look cool? Like, it wasn't, like, this is the thing. Collaboration is about like finding like true happiness that lies within like the combination of you guys. Had it been me, I would have just like bought like a bunch of like gold and cream and whatever and had it like look aesthetically pleasing instead of like actually magical. But like when she came, because like that's my aesthetic, I would have just been really boring like that and just like, you know, looked at it beautifully. This is beautiful to me in like another way, and it's like I would have never come up with this on my own. So we sat there. Isn't she cute? She like made this one. We sat there for hours just like laughing, and oh, it was just so fun, like literally so fun. So I'm going to, at the end of this, I'm going to probably take all of them and like write on the back of them like mine are her initials and then the year, and it'll be really easy to take with me when I move from here. This was a mutual collaboration on how bad it is. Like, these are all bad. Like, from a like very far away like galloping horse, these look great. But like, we both know that they were like really screwed up. Like when you look at them, it's not even like we were drunk. We were just really tired and wanted to do it. So this was a mutual collaboration. I put like the blobs of gold. She made the star. I loved it so much, I traced it and I made like another one. It was so funny because she did the first one freehand. She brought me, you probably don't care about this little Christmas tree tour at all, but I want you to care. This is fun for me, okay? So she brought me this from home, and this was the only Christmas tree ornament that I'd kept for myself from any other Christmas I've ever had. But we had such fun like collaborating and picking things out. Like even on like the shade of the butterfly, we like compromised so nicely, and I was just like, I love that you're here. I don't want you to leave. It was just a magical time. So anyways, thank you for touring my Christmas tree with me. I'm gonna keep it up until I can't stand it. Like my OCD is like trying to like tell me that I have to fix all this. I'm just like, just be okay with the beauty, Michelle. You don't need to do that, because I am like that. So this is the only other Christmassy thing that I have in here. You've never seen my kitchen before, but little preview. Mostly I just wanted to show you my poinsettia. I depot it and I put it in a clear glass. It mostly kills it faster, but I'm like, oh well. I did want to show you this before we started as well. This is, I have real problems with scents and candles. Like I feel really, really nauseous and disgusted when they smell really weird. And this brand I found at Whole Foods, and I'm sure you can get like a similar type brand without having to pay like, you know, whatever this was for it. I think it was like $15 or something for this little guy. But it smells, from what I can smell, really nice, and it doesn't give me the ick. So I've burnt it. I think I bought it a couple days before she was here, and that's like a testament to how much I burn it for like hours, and I don't get a headache and I don't feel disgusted like I'm gonna throw up. Alright, so I don't even know where to like start on today's video. Basically, I'm just gonna give you like a fun update on what's going on. I feel like I have some momentum with some things, like a little bit of a breakthrough about things, just like very happy in my own personal like life on how it's going. And you know, I can't really say that about most times in my life. Most times I'm like, a little bit struggle busing. But I'm really actually quite like cup filled from when she was here. So when she was here, we did like very relaxing things that I normally don't get to do. Well, like I try, but it's just different. Just like the Christmas tree collaboration, it's like when someone else is there, they like make sure that you take care of you too. So one of the first things we did was we went to like a nice salon here, and I got my hair cut for the first time by somebody else other than me in like the last 5 years. Like I'm good with like highlighting my own hair and stuff. I kind of don't trust other people to do it like how I like it, but it was important to me to like shape my hair and just kind of like look nice, and you know what I mean? Like I just feel like the person did a really good job. And we had such fun. Like I feel like everything spontaneously just came together in like really fun ways. It was just genuinely fucking nice to like spend time with somebody that sees you and like cares about you. And I know that that's what you should want for a friend, but like I've spent time with a lot of people and it's not always like that. So it was exactly what I needed, and I hope that I gave her exactly what she needed. And it was one of my favorite times ever. So I'm like sad that I have to go back to reality, but it was just nice. So I wanted to tell you that I made some progress on like how I feel about like my insecurity on my body. We talked somewhat about that, and we actually went to the gym here that was here. Because you know, like I'm the type of person that like feels like, okay, if I'm doing something actionable towards something, then like my insecurity is a little bit like lessened than had I not done anything. And I've talked about that before. But I feel like if I took the time to like learn, like she actually like trains and stuff, like learn what to do instead of just like winging it my own way, like learn like how to improve and like have some tools. So like what I'm telling you is like I left with a little bit more tools and a little bit more motivation. Like she helped fix like the mental part of it by like just actually showing me what to do, but also by like listening and kind of relating and working through that with me. Like, yeah, I know I probably could have gotten a therapist to do that, but like sometimes I just need somebody to like, that I trust to like tell me certain things about stuff. I spend a lot of my time still very alone. I call people a lot more than I used to. I like spend time with my friends in that way a lot more, but it's just different when you like, if you only have a short window of time. It's not like, oh hey, can we talk about my body insecurities? Like I'm not gonna waste time on the phone like that, right? But like when you're in person, it's just different. They're like so much more like, they're constantly available to like talk with you, and like certain things just kind of like come out naturally. And maybe I don't have to explain that, like you just kind of already know because you actually have friends in real life like that, but I don't here yet. And so it was really restorative for me. It just like healed some of my things. Not like healed completely, because that's like a me thing and like that's like a time thing, but healed to like the part where like I'm not nervous as I was. In fact, I kind of like own it more than I did before. And I don't think I've ever felt so powerful in my like dating life than I have now. I have the experience of casual dating from when I was doing that a few years ago, and I've told you guys about that if you were here from the beginning in my like series or whatever. But I'm trying like 2 different methods. I'm like all over the place with this video, but I think hopefully it's flowing. But I'm trying 2 different methods now, and this is gonna be like way too much information to like tell like the public or whatever, but like if you relate to it, like I want you to like have somebody that's actually like willing to talk about it. I feel like that's why I talk about certain things. Certain things just aren't talked about and you don't know if they're weird or not. Like I end up Googling, is this normal? Like a lot of the time. So had I just had a video that was like, yeah, it's normal, this is what I'm doing, and I'm kind of like a regular like normal person, relatively so, then okay, so that's why I'm talking about it. But I have 2 different strategies right now. Like you would think that because I want love, like that's my goal. I'm like ready to be in a relationship, that I would only settle for people who would give me long-term whatever. But like I'm smart enough to know that because I haven't been with somebody for 2 years, like at all, I kind of need to get the cobwebs out basically. Like I switched my birth controls, and we can talk about that, but like I switched from birth control to a copper IUD. And because of that, like my regular hormones of my body are coming back for the first time in years. And what I'm trying to say is like I get turned on now when like I feel like my lifestyle and my birth control choice at that time for me was very suppressive, and I wasn't into it. Like I didn't get like, I need to get the cobwebs out. I was just like, hey, there's some cobwebs, pile them on, right? That was like how it was. And I think that was okay for me when I wasn't trying to hang out with anybody. But now that I am, I don't need to go around and like basically hormone rage these people. I need to situate myself here. So I'm trying to do all these things that feel like much more authentic to my body is feeling, what I want, and like just being very clear to myself about like my expectations. And while I want love, I also want to like have a good experience and to connect with people in ways that I haven't been lately. So I feel like I need a couple of strategies. I need to still have my long-term strategy where I'm on the lookout for, you know, what that could possibly look like from somebody else to give me like a long-term situation, but I need to have a short-term situation where I put effort into that in a healthy way as well. And I spent a lot of time like learning what the non-healthy way about that casual kind of relationship is. And so I know what not to do. I know what to do. I'm much more assertive now. And I'm much more like, well, there's just another one to like take your place. So like if the red flags are flying out, it's not limited availability. Like there's just always new people. Like you can just find new people. And so like the whole idea of settling on either of the short term versus long term is I don't want to do that anymore. So I think that my game is strong. It's like the strongest that it's ever been, but it's also producing really interesting results now. And I have a little bit of both kind of like, I don't know, pokers in the fire going on right now. And it's fun for me. It makes me feel very distracted. And that's probably because I haven't like really pursued this part of like what makes you a person for a while. And so it like dopamine wise, it feels really nice, but it's also like, I need to do it enough so that I can balance this in my like real life where like I'm very focused and goal oriented and, you know, not get off track. So I do know that there needs to be a little bit of a learning curve for me on how to balance it and how to like get those like relationships going, because sometimes it's just delicate and you have to put more time in there than in your other goals to like get it going. But once it's going and it's good, you maintain it in a nice passionate way or whatever, then I can pick up the slack because I already have the ability to kind of like turn on like that with my other goals. I already have the ingrained kind of behavior that I need to pick up. So I'm not so scared that my whole like life that I've built for a while has like completely messed up during this process. Because I was scared. That's why I didn't pursue people for a while when I was like really focused, super freaking focused, when my priority was not that. So it's fun for me to like challenge myself. Okay, you need to balance today. So like literally like on my short-term goal person, which sounds bad, but that's what it is. My short-term goal person, I'm just like, okay, I have to ignore you now, bye. Like I'm kind of like a little bit mean about it. But it's like great because it gives him like only a short window of time to interact with me, and he's got to be like on it for that time. It's not like I give him the whole day to interact with me. So it's kind of fun. It's like when you only have a short amount of time, you're gonna give me your best, and that's what I want. And so it's like communicating to him that I have boundaries, but also communicating to him that I will only accept the best, instead of just like talking all day. And it gets so like, I get so desensitized and I get really bored with people. And so that's how the short-term one is kind of going. It's like fun. It's super fun. And I think I'm actually gonna go on a date with him next week on Thursday. So the day before I make my next video. So I'm like really nervous about that, because the other date that I went on with the cheap dude, like it wasn't like this whatsoever. I like really actually feel like a lot of chemistry with this one. And the other one that I told you about, like the cheap one, I just thought he was an interesting person, and I wanted to kind of a little bit get used to the fact that, of like meeting people again after not doing it for 2 years. And I wanted to just like go on a date, and I wanted to see where the farmer's market is. Like it's very different. Like this one, I'm like, oh my God. And the other one was like, So it's different. So, but the long-term one, I can tell that like it's a little bit more like a patience game. And like not a game per se, but you know what I mean? It's like a little bit more like, I don't think my assertiveness would really work for this, because I've tried it and it hasn't come back with like good results. But when I'm like a little bit more patient with this one, he like unveils himself a tiny bit more to me, and it's not so, I don't know. Some people like come with a wall once you try to like steer them in a certain way, and I'm not trying to steer him in a certain way because I'm like an evil bitch. I'm just trying to steer him towards like actually hanging out, because I think he's cool. But like some people are not like ready for that. So that's when I decided that I had to have my short-term game and my long-term game, because I really like the mind of this other one, and like he would long-term fulfill more things for me, I think, as far as compatibility. But at the same time, it's not his fault that I have some cobwebs right now. It's not his fault that I'm like, hey, let's hang out, like, buddy. It's not his fault that, like, it's not his timeline. I have to respect his timeline, and you know, like, I don't owe him anything as far as like, I'm just talking to you, therefore I can't do anything with any other people. Like, that's not reasonable. So I feel like I can have a little bit of both going on, and still kind of try to see how this other one unfolds. Therefore, I'm not wasting my time really. It's just because like waiting for this other one to kind of get more comfortable, right? Like, what if he doesn't get more comfortable? Then I would have waited kind of like cobwebby this whole time, and I would have been way more frustrated. So I'm trying to do it in a way that pleases me, that's super fun, and that I own it. I mean, I do have insecurities still a tiny bit, but they're not as bad as before. And like, obviously it's definitely not fixed, but my friend gave me some good tips, and like she helped me mentally, and so I'm a little bit more prepared going into like the arrangement of this next date that I have coming up. So I just feel like very powerful in my choices, and that comes out in how I interact with these people. Like, I can see it for what it is. Like, I can see that this other one needs more time and to not push. Like, I've already pushed like my playful kind of way to see what would happen, and it was total like shut down city. So on this one that I like for his mind, I like it for his like physicalness too, but for me, they both have to be there. But I think the Thursday one is more like a mutual thing instead of like a standoffish thing, like the long-term situation. So anyways, I feel like just like good. I wouldn't say super 100% confident, but I feel like really good. And I think that it just is all coming together in such a nice way. Like, it's probably all gonna fall apart. Like, I'm not so stupid that I just think that it's all gonna go really well. Like, it could definitely just, you know, not be what I think it could possibly be. As far as like, maybe we just don't have, like, we have good chemistry, both of the things that I'm talking about, the long term and the short term. Both of those people have good chemistry with me right now, And so I'm very aware. I've gone on enough bad dates with other people to know that sometimes it doesn't translate well, as you guys know yourself probably. So I'm just really hopeful, and I'm very excited versus like I'm just out there kind of like grinding. I don't want to grind like dating. Like I don't want to go on like 500 dates just to like try to find the one. Like I want to find people that excite me from the beginning, and I am willing to like kind of put my time into that. And maybe that will take me way longer than someone who would like just date after date after date. Like I'm not a person that will line up like 5 dates in one night. I believe in like giving, like for me 2 is kind of like a little bit of a juggle. And like I sort of don't feel bad, but I tiny bit do. But I do know that I am still giving my best self to both of them because they require different things from me. And so I can authentically provide what I would want to be provided with at that same time. So that's key for me, to be authentic, but also like provide value, not just like get matches. And you can date however you want to date, and you can like run your life however you want to run it. But for me, I don't want to grind out like dating. I want to enjoy the hell out of it. And I think that I like, even if it doesn't go well, I want to enjoy it. So get rid of the people that I like. You know how many people I don't talk to, or like I don't match with, or I unmatch after they've said something like super stupid? Like I give people a lot of chances, but like I'm actually on the lookout for very specific things, and I have like this almost like FBI style like interview sort of thing that I like do with them, which maybe seems psycho, but it's like I'm trying to get what I want, and you can't get what you want just like willy-nilly. Like you have to actually like develop some sort of strategy, and this is my strategy. So I see if they want to play back with me. I see if they're clever. Like the both of them that I have right now, they're really good at playing back with me, and they're really good at keeping like me interested. I'm aware now that you can be interested in more than one person at the same time, and I'm not talking like in an affair type of way. I'm talking about like you could like certain things from a person and like a totally opposite type of person at the same time. I just thought that you liked one person all the time. Like I didn't understand that you could, I don't know if you can actually be in love with 2 different people at the same time, but I do think that you can enjoy qualities about 2 different people at the same time. And like I've developed my mind enough so that I know there's a difference. And I know that certain things about the aspects of one person could really hit you, and certain things about the aspects of like maybe 2 or 3 other people could really like stand out to you, but they would provide totally different things for your life, but you really like them. Like I didn't think that that was actually possible then. I just thought that you liked one person, that was kind of it, you went all in, and that was like, you know, your destiny. Like I didn't know that it was more like trying on an outfit. Like it's not like that, it's like way more involved than that, but it's like what feels good to you this day. What do you want to present yourself to the world looking like? Like today my outfit is like classy, but not really classy, but it's like casual, but I feel like black is always classy. Like I could want to wear something bold in color tomorrow, right? But I feel good in both outfits for 2 different reasons, and I'm presenting to the world 2 different versions of myself, but like I'm still authentically myself within it. I don't know if that's a very good metaphor, but I feel like you get it. And so that's where we're at today. So I have a better understanding of what I need to do in order to get what I want from things, and I have a better understanding of what might be a healthier path. Like it was very clear to me that I couldn't push this one that had some walls and make him like kind of be the cobweb breaker for me. Like he's not, he needs some time to not be screwed with that way. Not that like trying to arrange some sex is like screwing with people, but like find somebody who's also trying to do that is what I'm trying to say. I feel like he's like recovering from something way more intense than just trying to find a hookup. And you know, so not everybody's like that. And so I feel like it's it's up to me to understand what people need, but it's also up to me to understand what I need. And so yeah, just to be in touch with like what my body says and to like what my actual goals are. It's like a whole process, and to try to get that out of one person just because you found chemistry, like that's not always acceptable to do. And I feel like I'm pretty easy to build a good chemistry with because I'm kind of like good at talking with people, but building chemistry back with me is a little bit more tough. And so I'm listening, I'm like really trying to only talk with people who are doing that back for me, instead of, because I feel like I've talked about this, I feel like I am pretty compatible with most people, with what most people would want in some things. So you can get so far with that before I'm just like, well, I'm not into this, right? So like I rearranged my strategy to go after the people that make me excited. And if they're excited about me, then good, right? Like that's great. Like I'm only gonna go on a date if it's a mutual excitement, which makes a lot of sense, but I haven't always done that. Like I was, you know, back in the day, as you guys know, I was like, I'm just gonna do this because this person pursued me and said yes, like instead of taking things into my own hands and pursuing my, you know, it myself a little bit. So it feels much more like I have equal skin in the game in the pursuit. And so I like that. And it gives me like power and it makes me happy. I keep using the word power because I felt very powerless, and I felt like I was like, didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know my value in the equation. And I didn't understand like that. I didn't understand that if I verbalized my actual wants, not just like tried to meet their wants, I didn't understand that if I verbalized my actual wants, I would get closer to what I actually wanted, and I would be happier, therefore providing a better experience with the person I was with. I used to just anticipate the needs of this other person and try to be the best at like giving them that. And I would just be left with dates that people wouldn't even ask me things. I would leave with like, they didn't even know me, but I knew a lot about them. I didn't connect with them. They didn't connect with me, but I just tried to provide a good experience for them, and I would get literally nothing. And I would leave very empty. And I was like, let's try this different strategy now that I know more about myself. It took a long time. You don't have to do this way. This is just how I discovered that I feel like very in tune with like my power, I guess, in how I'm dating. I've never felt just like confident in my ability that if I wanted to, I could make something happen relatively soon towards something that would be exciting and worthwhile, even though these things take time. I've like learned how to search, I've learned how to ask the questions, I've learned how to get better at discerning people and, you know, just weeding through. While there's still like a lot of stumbling, I think I understand how to do that in a way that pleases me. So I feel like I've gotten just a little bit better at like demanding, sort of in a playful way, what I want from them, like even in the very beginning stages. And so they're not like shocked if I tell them what I want in bed. They're not like shocked if I like, you know, do something weird on the date. They just know that I'm like this and I'm going to be like this because I'm super done with letting the world decide what I want. And so this, like, I'm not trying to be controlling, I'm just trying to voice that like I have a strong opinion on what I feel like I deserve now, versus like just letting things unfold. That's what I did all the time. I let things unfold, and what people give you when you don't tell them what you think you deserve, then that's when they just try to give you the bottom level of what they can give to somebody and think that the person will still stay. Like if you watched any of my old videos about my Tinder lessons, it was very much like that. People give bottom level effort if you do not basically show them that there's a bar. And there's a difference between being a bitch about it, and there's a difference between kind of like, hey, if you want to, like, I'll give you two options. You can either give me the low bar and this is what will happen, or you can give me the high bar, like, and you can exceed expectations and, you know, keep exceeding expectations if you want to hang out with me. Like, those are kind of like the two options. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to like not get pushback. Like, I've gotten unmatched before. Like, I've gotten like, hey, how are you? Or just like a hey, or like, how's your day going? And then I kind of snarkily I do snarkily say, you don't know me like that. Why do you care about what my day is like? Come back with a better opener. Like, I feel like that's real bitchy, but like, if you really think about it, it's kind of true. If two strangers are talking and you're opening with like, how was your night? I'm never gonna tell you the truth about it. Yeah, it was great. No, it was bad. I feel like that's a really bad opener. And so I'm kind of like helping the next person. I've gotten super unmatched for that. But for the people that stay around for like the snarky and like they get past that with me and they show me that they can like handle it, that's the kind of person that I want to be always. I don't want to be like, is this comment going to really rattle them and like make them feel like emasculated or anything? I just want to be how I want to be and not kind of water it down for, you know, how much I feel like they can handle. If they can handle that kind of like snarkiness from the beginning and they can like smooth me out a little bit because I can feel like they can handle it, then, or like actually rise to the occasion, then that's a better match for me long term anyway. So weed those people out, which seems very not nice, but like, I've been nice. I was very nice for most of my life, and that didn't really get me anywhere. It got me a nice foundation of how to treat people kindly, but it didn't get me anything that I wanted from an actual relationship. So I feel like just good and powerful, and that might not last, but I'm doing pretty good today, and we're having a good, like, in general, I feel like I'm pretty okay with where things are headed. There's not a lot of ambiguity right now. There's a lot of like unclear paths. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like live in this state at the end of my lease. I kind of don't want to. I kind of don't want to pick up and start all over again and do that whole thing again. But also I'm chasing like, where do I actually feel good, instead of, oh, I'm kind of sick of moving. I've moved a lot. I didn't move a lot for like most of my life. And then once I decided that I wanted better for my life, I was like, well, this isn't it, this isn't it. And it just forces me to like keep moving and finding that. I'm a little bit tired of the search, but like, that's how I feel about the ambiguity of that. It's like, I can kind of handle that because I feel good about my core kind of being. I feel good about my relationships with my friends. Like, they're really connecting. I just had a really great connecting friendship hangout with my my friend Renee. I feel really good about certain aspects of my family ties right now, and that wasn't always the case. I feel like a very strong bond with my dad right now, and I feel like verbally, like assertively, I feel very confident in my ability to tell people what I want, and confident in myself that if they don't give that back to me, that I don't have to like bend. I can just wait and find the next person and see if they will give me something that I enjoy back. I'm confident in my ability to kind of just wait on that, and that wasn't always the case. Sorry, it's a little bit cold in here. I'm like clear boogering here. So that's what I mean by, I took a lot of time and it was super freaking painful, but it just builds these things that when it just all hits in a nice way, like today, like I understand, like tomorrow I could be totally detrimental, something would have happened and like I'm just totally rejected by both of these people and I can't find somebody to take their place, and it's just really like, you know, not great, and I go back to something like a tiny bit more toxic than how I am right now. I understand that that can happen, but I do understand that I have a good foundation right now of like the things that make me happy. So I'm a very big proponent of like sorting your shit out, coming into things open-minded, adapting once you see that it's not it. It's very hard to continuously be on it when you don't want to settle for complacency. It's like it's very easy, because like I want to get what I want, but like I'm only alive for a certain amount of time, right? And like I don't want to like only live at the end of my life. I want to live during it. And things take time, but I want to enjoy the process, and so that if it doesn't end up being how I envision it toward the end or whatever, that I was just happy. And that might be a little bit too deep for this kind of like, you know, how my dating life is going type of video, but like I don't think that you're just here for like how my dating life is going. I feel like you're here because you have something maybe similar of a journey thing that like I do, and like not everybody is good in all categories of life, and I try to share. I've been working on this, you've seen it. I've been working on this, you've seen it. And you've seen how my life was before when I didn't work on those things. And I'm not saying that this is the way to do it. I just think that you should be aware of the different components that make up your own life and how that works as a complex thing. So anyways, I think then my next big hurdle is going to be working on incorporating these people, these either short-term people or the long-term people, incorporating those people into my life in a way that doesn't freak me out, that I'm going to lose focus on all of my goals. That's a really big fear that I have, that it will just like overtake me. But I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm like exposing myself to a little bit of like the dopamine and goodness, and trying to still have like my goals. I still want to do certain things by myself, for myself, and to like keep that going, because basically I don't want to be like how I was when Adam broke up with me. I don't want to be that person that's like totally destroyed. Like I know that it's sad when like things end and you don't have a bond anymore, but like I don't want to be that crippled. I just don't want to do that. I think that like it would have been a waste of all this time building my own separate identity. Like I feel like my identity of myself when I'm alone is pretty strong now, and I want to just like continue. Like, I know a lot of guys, and they're like really good at traveling by themselves and getting after what they want in life, and I feel like more lone wolf. And I feel like girls, for whatever reason, either have friends, they have good friend groups, they don't really have to do things by themselves. It's kind of like a weird thing to like be a girl and like go do that. And I want to go do that. That's like one of my goals. I kind of just want to like jump on a plane and go to a museum and go explore that, because I want to see the museum and not wait for one of my friends or my family members or whatever to be able to do that with me. I want to just go do that. I want to like do things in my life that fulfill me, that I actually want, but like not have the excuse of I'm stuck and I need to wait for somebody. I find that really like a good quality in a person, that I don't need you in my life, but I want you because you add. Like I want that kind of thing. So I'm trying to get better at it. Like the other day I went to the museum here by myself. Like I didn't want to. It wasn't like a super enjoyable experience, and I was the only person in my age range that was doing it at the time that was seeing the exhibit. But I want to do that, and I want to get more comfortable, and you only do that by like, you know, going to arrange things. So when my friend Renee was here, we went to this super nice restaurant and we got all dolled up. Like I want to do that for myself. Like it's not as enjoyable, obviously, but I still want to like enjoy. I don't want to just live when somebody, you know, is available to hang out with me. I want to be the person who can comfortably do that. And I'm the person currently right now who is not comfortable doing that, but it is willing to do that. So I'm kind of a little bit closer to I don't do that at all. I used to not do that at all. It'd be very uncomfortable, just avoid it completely. And as I said, I want to live during the time where like I'm just living, and it's not ideal, because you just don't know when your time is up, which is really sad, but I just want to do that. I think that's a good use of my time. That'd be so fun. So I'm really thinking about maybe doing something nice for myself, by myself, on my birthday in February. I haven't done that. Usually I just like boohoo by myself here. And I want to take like the boohoo away, and I want to go do something fun for myself and like fully enjoy it and not be sad that I'm doing it by myself. I know that I keep talking about this, but those are like my goals that I want. I want to continue making good progress on making connections that are valuable to me, that feel good to me. Not to get caught up in things I don't want to do. Be comfortable saying no from like the very beginning, so that it's not uncomfortable saying no when like the stakes are higher. Like, it's just, I want to be authentically myself the whole time, and just to feel good about it. And I want to advance in my goals, but I also want to not push myself so hard that like I don't do anything. So it's just like, I just want to increase things a tiny bit more towards how I actually want my whole life to be like. And I feel like that's worked for me in the past. When I try to change everything, it's just like too overwhelming. So I'm just refining a little bit, building upon what I've already laid out. That was good. Dig up and get out whatever was bad, right? So it's a constant struggle, of course. And priorities shift on the daily. And yeah, so we'll see. But currently today, as I'm delivering this to you, I'm very hopeful personally. Had some sad things happen to like a few people that I really care about, so I'm like a little bit sad for them. So while it's like good for me personally, I still, in the back of my mind, like I understand that shitty things happen, so I'm not like so optimistically delusional today. Like, it's still grounded, but I'm still in a good place, and I hope that you're in a good place today. Or if not, then this kind of like makes you a tiny bit happy. I don't know. I don't know what I hope that my videos do, or like sharing my crap with you does. But for me, it's really exciting to see somebody build progress, or to like, you know, show that there's no progress and here's why. Like, sometimes you need to be stuck. Be absolutely annoyed with your stuck to get somewhere different. I have done so many things where like I only saw one path forward, and then I just like let myself, I like surrendered to the stuck. And then because I took so much time to surrender, I was like able to think differently. There more options either happened because I put actions towards them, more options presented themselves spontaneously because of life circumstances, or just more options came into my head because of my own brainstorming or collaboration with somebody else. Things are never going to stay as stuck as you think they are, because things are not fixed. Even your stuck is not fixed. So if you know one thing, you know that. Life is very dynamic. I think it is what you make of it, and it is how you steer it, but it also is how the world interacts with you back. So anyways, I hope that you liked my Christmas tree as much as I like it. I love it. I can't wait for it to like just kind of do its thing at nighttime. I mean, I like it during the day, and I don't even hang out in here during the day, but I walk around and I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. So I think this week I'm gonna make a whole bunch of Christmas cookies. I haven't made anything baking wise for a while. In the desert, I think I baked myself crazy. That was like the one thing that I could do while like kind of like confined in my surroundings. And I haven't really, baking kind of like reminds me of that sad time. So I'm like trying to reconnect with like my desire to be creative and to make something hopefully that somebody else will enjoy. And I really enjoyed making Christmas cookies, so I'm just gonna try to do that. My couch is coming tomorrow. I'm so excited. So next week I will show you. Maybe I'll film on my couch. So it's gonna be over there. This whole table is going to go over there. Maybe I'll just get rid of it after a while. So you see, like, I'm ready to like make changes and move on with certain things. Like before I was very like, this cannot happen. So anyways, that is my plans for this week. Obviously next week we'll probably talk about something different. I might actually, if I'm like well rested and like on it, I might actually be able to like have a little chat with you guys. I think one of you brought this up. I thought it was a super great idea. Have a chat with you guys while I was actually making things, like baking again. I would really like to do that. I just sometimes this version of the video is like less stressful for me when I'm like kind of stressed sometimes. So I'm sorry that you kind of get the crappy end of the stick as like my creativity, but I try to make up for that in the quality of what I'm talking about, I guess. So anyways, that is my plan. Hopefully you guys are doing some great things. It's only 10 days before Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I totally understand. There's other holidays around this time too. So whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, I just hope that you get the most out of it. Your heart is happy and filled like mine. Because I would just wish that everybody felt as good as I felt when like Renee was here. And maybe it's just because I haven't like felt that for a very long time, but I think if I'd seen her like, you know, the last week and we'd had the same kind of hangout, it would just like fill me up equally. So I don't think it's like that I was just so deprived that it just felt good. I think it's just good quality. Does that make sense? It's just good quality all the time. And I feel like you need to have people in your life like that. And if you don't, I hope that you work to get some, because it's great. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this today, and I will see you very soon. And I wish you luck with whatever you're working on. And if you are working on something cool, like, let me know. I want to root for you. I root hard for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.